8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. The President focuses attention on the shortcomings of the present education system in the country. Discussions are underway at Select Committee level with regard to the changes on the electoral and election procedures. SLBC submits the proposals and suggestions to the new Constitution Drafting Committee. Russia to resume flights to Sri Lanka from 1st April. 166 more cases of COVID-19 reported in Sri Lanka and coronavirus recoveries count exceeds 88,000. Sri Lanka expecting 600,000 Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccines by March 31st. In news overseas, North Korea claims new tactical guided missiles launched. And in sports news, SLBC to reappoint Shamita Was as Sri Lanka's fast bowling coach. Those are the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the local news. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that a discrepancy in the present education system because the youth who obtain degrees do not directly involve or contribute to the nation's productivity and economic development. The President further said that a large amount of fund is invested on free education system of the country. The President made these remarks at the launching ceremony of digital platform to obtain public views with regard to proposed educational reforms. The function was held this morning at Temple Trees. The Urban Development Authority is getting ready to introduce a systematic method to approve the construction plans of local government bodies. Accordingly, all projects in Gampaha and Kalutara have been agreed and approved, and they have already commenced. This method will be extended to other local government bodies in the near future. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says discussions are underway at Select Committee level with regard to the regulations on the election procedures. The discussions focus on healthy changes on the electoral system and voting. The Parliament Select Committee will discuss with all stakeholders in this regard. The Minister made these remarks in reply to the question raised by parliamentarian Lakshman Kiriyalla in Parliament today. SLBC submitted its proposals and suggestions to the Constitution Drafting Committee today. A group of SLBC members, including Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva, presented these proposals to the chairman of the committee, Romesh de Silva, today. Speaking to the media after the submission, Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva said that SLBC proposed a district council system instead of provincial council. Many other suggestions, including 25% women's representation, is also suggested in the proposal. Russia is to resume flights with Germany, Venezuela, Syria, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan and Sri Lanka from 1st April, the Federal Coronavirus Response Center told the reporters. On Thursday, Russian Deputy Prime Minister Tatiana Golikova held a meeting on the operational headquarters. Based on the results of the discussion, taking into account the epidemiological situation in individual countries and in agreement with Prime Minister Mikhail Mukaskin, it is decided to resume the reciprocal basis from April 1st, 2021, regular international flights with Venezuela twice a week, Syria once a week, Tajikistan once a week, Uzbekistan once a week, and Sri Lanka once a week, the statement said. Also, from 1st April, in agreement with the German aviation authorities, regular air traffic will be resumed on the mutual routes Frankfurt, Moscow, Frankfurt 5 times a week, Petersburg, Frankfurt 3 times a week, Moscow, Berlin, Moscow 5 times a week, and Moscow, Frankfurt, Moscow 3 times a week. Russia will also increase the number of regular flights with Cuba, Belarus, Armenia, Egypt and the UAE from April 1st in response, the response center told the reporters. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life.
And we Continue with more local news. The National Operations Center for Prevention of COVID-19 outbreak confirms that another 166 persons have tested positive for the novel coronavirus. This brings the total number of COVID-19 cases reported in the country thus far to 91,455. Sri Lanka's total number of COVID-19 recoveries has increased to 88,145, while currently 2,753 patients infected with the virus are under medical treatment. A consignment of China's Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine, also known as BIP-CoV5, is expected to arrive in Sri Lanka on the 31st of March, says State Minister of Production, Supply and Regulation of Pharmaceuticals. Professor Channa Jasumana made these remarks while speaking to media this morning. Sri Lanka will receive the consignment of 600,000 of Sinopharm coronavirus vaccine jabs as a donation from China. National Medicines Regulatory Authority of Sri Lanka recently approved the emergency use of Sinopharm vaccine in the country. This vaccine is produced by China National Biotech Group, a subsidiary of China National Pharmaceutical Group Corporation. Several countries, including the UAE, Bahrain, Egypt, Jordan, Pakistan, and the Philippines, have already authorized the use of the vaccine. Hungary became the first European Union member country to give the nod to China's Sinopharm vaccine. Minister of Education Professor G.L. Perez said that there is a big gap and difference between the education provided from schools, different organizations and the university and livelihood job opportunities. As a result, there is a sharp rise in depression and disappointment among the youth in the country. Therefore, it is important to change the education system of the country, the minister added. The changes should focus on improving the IT skills, knowledge and job-oriented subject skills. Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, which conducts Ratanasutra recitation in island-wide viharas, has made agreements and arrangements to conduct tomorrow's program at Borella Gothami Road, Vimangsa Buddhist Center. This is the 145th Spirit Chanting program of the series. The program will be aired live from 6:30 p.m. tomorrow through Sinhala Commercial Service, City FM and the other regional services of the SLBC. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The President focuses his attention on the shortcomings of the present education system in the country. Discussions are underway to the select committee level with regard to the changes on the electoral and election procedures. SLFE submits its proposals and suggestions to the new Constitution Drafting Committee. Russia to resume flights to Sri Lanka from April 1st. 166 more cases of COVID-19 reported in Sri Lanka and coronavirus recoveries count exceeds 88,000. Sri Lanka expecting 600,000 Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine by March 31st. And that was the local news.
Introducing Speed Investment with Sri Lanka Insurance, the only insurance policy that increases your sum assured by 5% every year for the same premium amount. You also get a bonus payment at maturity. What better plan to have when you can invest now and relax later? The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life. Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
The main news story for tonight, Minister Namal Rajapaksa says few youth drama festivals will be organized island-wide and a few of them will be presented at the international festivals. A program was commenced by National Youth Council to organize dramas at district level. The National Youth Council has taken effective measures to promote dramas which were severely affected due to COVID-19 pandemic. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhaleba.
And in Watchlight tonight, the consumers complain about the price hikes on some rice varieties, vegetables, fruits and fresh milk. It is understood that some errant traders increase these prices, citing various reasons including the present COVID-19 pandemic situation. They also make their own moves without considering the government's control price structure. Some rice varieties like Nadu is sold at some places at the rate of 110 rupees, Samba is sold at the rate of 140 rupees and Kiri Samba at 168 rupees. This is for the attention of the Consumer Affairs Authority. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Headlines of the world news. North Korea claims new tactical guided missiles launched. Coronavirus, EU stops short of vaccine export ban. Uyghurs, China bans UK MPs after abuse sanctions. Those are the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the world news. North Korea has claimed the missiles that it launched on Thursday were a new type tactical guided projectiles in its first statement since its test. This is the country's first ballistic launch in almost over a year and the first since Joe Biden became the U.S. president. Mr. Biden has said that the U.S. will respond accordingly. The U.S., Japan and South Korea have condemned the tests. European Union leaders have stopped short of banning vaccine exports after a protracted row with Anglo-Swedish manufacturer AstraZeneca. At a summit on Thursday, they have the backing in principle for toughening export controls. But a post-summit statement emphasized the importance of global supply chains needed to produce the vaccinations. Eliminations of the AstraZeneca vaccine are manufactured in a number of EU states. China has imposed sanctions on 9 UK citizens, including 5 MPs, for spreading what it calls lies and disinformation about the country. The group are among the most vocal critics of China in the UK. It comes in retaliation for the measures taken by the UK government on Monday over human rights abuses against the Uyghur Muslims in minority group. Boris Johnson said that those sanctions were shining a light on the gross human rights violations. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. North Korea claims new tactical guided missiles launched. Coronavirus, EU stops short of vaccine exports. Uyghur, China bans UK MPs after abuse sanctions. And that was the world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Nivea along with CIB. Valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment and 20% discount for bank card holders during 16th to 30th March. Our product, our place. CIB.
In development news, Stuart Gibson, co-founder and co-CEO of Hong Kong-listed ESR Cayman Limited, one of APAC's largest logistics property platforms, visited Sri Lanka recently. Gibson and his senior management team held talks with President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, State Minister Niwad Cabral, Tharaka Balasuriya, D.V. Chanaka, BOI Chairman Sanjay Mohottala, Airport and Aviation Chairman retired Major General G.A. Chandrasiri, as well as other key heads of the state bodies. ESR is said to be exploring investment and development opportunities to build modern, large-scale industrial and logistic park in Sri Lanka. And that was the development news.
Development News was brought to you by Nivea along with CIB. Valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment and 20% discount for bank card holders during 16th to 30th March. Our product, our place. CIB.
And moving on to sports news, Sri Lanka cricket has decided to reappoint former Sri Lanka fast bowler Shamita Vas as the fast bowling coach of the national squad. President of SLC convening a press conference in Colombo yesterday said the appointment will be officially announced to the media in the coming days. On February 19th, Watts was appointed as the fast bowling coach of the national squad for the upcoming West Indies tour. The appointment came after David Sekhar stepped down as Sri Lanka's fast bowling coach several days before the West Indies tour. However, Watts announced his resignation on February 22nd, hours before the national team was scheduled to depart to the West Indies due to some disagreement in the salary scale. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Business news, Sri Lankan consumers voted Dialogue as the Youth Choice Service Brand of the Year for the second consecutive year, and the Telecommunication Brand of the Year for the record 10th year running at the prestigious Slim People's Awards 2021. Voted by the public to recognize brands that have made a profound impression in the minds of the people of Sri Lanka, the People's Awards crowns the brands that have captured the hearts of the people. That was the business news, and economic news follows.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And in economic news, Sri Lanka Tea Board stated recently that it had performed well in January and February this year, earning 41 billion rupees export revenue compared to the beginning of last year. The total tea production too had increased when compared to last year. The price of FOB of tea had increased from 832 rupees to 932 rupees. That was economic news and the weather report to conclude.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And finally, on to the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the Sabaragamu, Western, Northwestern and Central provinces and in the Galle and Mathura district during the evening or night. Fairly heavy falls above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the above areas. Showers will occur in the Eastern and Nuwa provinces and in the Hambantota district. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. And that was the weather report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's take a recap of the headlines. The president focuses his attention on the shortcomings of the present education system in the country. Discussions are underway at select committee level with regard to the changes on the electoral and election procedures. SLBC submits its proposals and suggestions to the new constitution drafting committee. Russia to resume flights to Sri Lanka from 1st April. 166 more cases of COVID-19 reported in Sri Lanka, and coronavirus recoveries count exceeds 88,000. Sri Lanka expecting 600,000 Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccines by March 31st. In news overseas, North Korea claims new tactical guided missiles launched. And in sports news, Sri Lanka cricket to reappoint Chaminda Vaz as Sri Lanka's fast bowling coach.